'Cause you were born with mischief in your eyes and fire in your veins.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a library book haul. Now, I don't usually do library book hauls, but I figured since I went out on Thursday today to rent a bunch of library books, I would do this instead of a weekend reads video because this is kind of what I'm going to be reading all weekend, and really throughout the month because I got a lot of library books. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 library books. So, yeah. So, let's just get into it. First off, I am actually currently reading this, but I got Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. This I'll probably have finished tonight, so this really isn't part of the weekend reads, because, yeah, I'm getting through this pretty fast, so I'm sure I'll have it finished tonight. But I also borrowed Ruby Red by Kristen Gier, as well as Sapphire Blue, because I've heard a lot of good things about the series, and I am having a lot of trouble finding them, so I picked them up from my library. I also rented Bloodline by Kate Cary, because this was a book that just sounded really good. It's more of a historical book, but it's also a vampire book, so I want to check it out, and it sounds good. I also borrowed Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick because I really, really want to get into this series. I actually own the second book. I didn't realize that it was the second book. Well, I did, and I was like, okay, but it was part of that sale a long ago where I got it for $2.50, brand new, so I was like, okay, I'll buy it, and then I've been waiting for this to come back into my library so I can finally read this one. I also borrowed Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins because I really, really want to continue with this series, and I want to get this read before the next book comes out, and see if I want to continue with the series, because if so, I gotta put that on my most anticipated books of 2016, so I'm gonna get to this sometime this month, too. I also borrowed The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This was a kind of a booktube made me read it kind of thing. More of Thoughts on Homes. I know this is one of her favorite books, so I picked it up. I don't know a lot about this book, but I've just heard that a lot of people love it, so I'm going to read it. After that, I borrowed Everlost by Neal Shusterman. This is the first book in a series, and it sounds really good, and so, yeah. I also borrowed, of course, Slasher Girls and Monster Boys by a whole ton of authors. But I'm really interested in the Leigh Bardugo story out of this, for the most part. And, yeah. I mean, I don't know many of the authors that are in it, honestly. Honestly, I don't. And, yeah. I don't know a lot of the authors, but I'm gonna read all of it. I have heard a lot of bad things about this, but I want to give it a shot for myself because, yeah, I don't always judge books by what BookTube says. I also borrowed The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, I think. I'm gonna screw up that name so bad. But, yeah, this has been suggested to me on Kindle since I, first got my Kindle. Well, not since I first got it, but since I, really started paying attention to my recommendations on Kindle. This has been a part of it, but it's at the same time, I didn't want to just go ahead and buy it. So I picked it up from the library, and I'll see how it is. I also grabbed a book that Christy told me to read, and that is What You Left Behind by Jessica Verdi. Christy had gotten a e-galley of this from NetGalley, and she read it, and she loved it, and it sounded so good, and I read her review on it, and I decided I definitely needed to borrow it from the library if they had it, and if not, I was just going to buy it, but I'm definitely gonna read it. So that is it for this library haul. Most people don't do this crazy of library hauls. And I still have Dreams of Gods and Monsters from the library too, but I literally just got finished with Days of Blood and Starlight, and I need a break. That book. It's coming in my wrap up at the end of on Monday. Or not Monday, probably sometime next week. Oh my god. I don't even know if I want to continue with the series at this point, but I'm probably gonna, just to get it done with. But I will see you guys all in my next video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Bye everyone.
'Cause you were born with mischief in your eyes and fire